So, hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about abusive speakers. We're going to talk about what is the abusive speaker, why this happens, and how to deal with this. Right? It's very common that when we go do some important meetings or some important situations, and we receive visitors or some important people, actually in companies, right? That actors, CEOs, or whatever. And they don't want to be understood. They talk like in English, right? Well, without caring. They don't care about if they have been understood or not. And this is what we call an abusive speaker. It's someone who doesn't care about other people's opinion. An opinion, they don't care if the people understand or don't understand. And they kind of dominate the conversation. They dominate the ideas. They dominate the discussion. And due to this characteristic, they try to concentrate power. They don't want to be understood, and in this way, they have more power. And they know more, right? So it's something that they know more. So they are able to really project power just due to the accent, the language spoken by them. This is very common, especially among professionals who don't have connections with Brazil or Latin. They don't care because they come here or they are online and they just have one meeting. They don't have business in the region. They don't have business in Brazil and Latin. And they really don't care. So they don't want to be understood. They want to just project power, knowledge, and show that they really know what they're doing. And this is very common in academics, scientific fields, and in business too, right? Business a little less because business, sometimes people have operations in Brazil, it's possible, or Latin. They have interests, they have some business to run, some things to develop here. So that's why they are a little bit more friendly or a little bit more intelligible. They can be understood. Or they try to be understood. They try to make it easy for people who don't understand, right, so well the language. So they want to make a little easier and more friendly. But people have no connections, no interests. It's very common. We can meet someone like this randomly in a trip, in a congress, in a conference, in business, in an important meeting with someone, right? It can be someone from Norway, from, I don't know, Sweden, or an American, or can be a British, or English, or Scottish person. They don't care, and whatever, New Zealander or Australian, right? And due to the accent, they exercise power, so they don't care. Well, this happens because of the interests, right? That they have, and they don't have any connection. Okay, how to deal with this? How we have to manage this? How is the good way to deal with this kind of problem? One good way of dealing with this kind of problem is exercise power with advanced level. When you project power with the language at advanced level, you show to them really well that you are not a newcomer. You've been in this business for a long time, and you know what you mean. You know what it takes, right, to project knowledge, right? So usually when people are training languages, they are excited about talking. This is good, no problem at all. They enjoy speaking, and they enjoy the process. But when we come into business, we know that in business we have oftentimes bad times, bad moments, problems. Some business, there are problems every day. So problems, they are part of the reality of the real life. So, uh, but language schools, they don't deal with the problematic situations. They don't deal in the sense that I feel like real, it's a real situation. They put a conversation like something very exciting, and that's okay. It's like you're talking with a friend. But in business, this is not exactly what happens. In business, we have a lot of challenges, we have a lot of problems, we have a lot of difficulties to deal every day. We gotta satisfy sometimes investors, a boss, a director, maybe a manager, someone, right? And due to this, we gotta be careful, right? But the point is that when we come across something that we are not satisfied, right? We don't want or we don't like it. Usually people get away. They don't want to challenge this. They don't want to face situations that they don't like. This is very possible in business, in company, especially in English, because it involves a lot of money when you're doing English, right? Something different, something's going on. Right? Some company, you are dealing with a company from other country, a supplier, a partner from Norway, from Scotland, from England, or some people anywhere. So English language is something usually that involves some kind of thing. Well, so for this reason, people are a little bit careful or skeptical about dealing with the challenging situations, right, in English. But we gotta do. The good news is uh, when we're not satisfied, it is exactly when the advanced level is more important. It's exactly in this moment that the advanced level should be visible. You gotta challenge someone when you are not satisfied with the ideas, with the solutions, with the results. You gotta challenge someone in a way that this person can understand that you are not a newcomer. You've been in this culture, in this business for a long time. The best way to project this kind of approach, this kind of feeling in the other person is advanced level. So the first thing is recommended is using advanced level all the time, as much as you can, to project power and challenge the person. I will give an example that happened to me. This happened really to me. I was in a situation, I was looking in front of me two people. One person, a Brazilian, struggling to put his message across, right? To speak. And this person was excited about speaking something. It was about a problem at work, in life, right? And how the person faced the problems during the day. It was a very problematic day. The other guy was an American guy. He was just looking and saying like, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. He wasn't honest in his answer, and he was not considering carefully the struggle of the other person, how much the person was struggling, right, to speak that. So it was a little uncomfortable situation, and he was just saying, uh-huh. So I noticed the situation, and I stopped it for a while and started thinking he could have done better. He could have answered in a much better way to the Brazilian, I thought about to myself. Let's see. And he continued doing this way. Yeah, that's okay. And he wasn't honest, wasn't deep enough. And the other guy, the Brazilian, was struggling to put his message across, to speak, to explain. And he was excited at the same time, happy. But he was not an advanced speaker. So I had to interfere. I had to comment, make a comment. And I immediately approached the guys and said to the American guy, I said, I've been watching all in advance of the level, right? I said right away, I've been watching, sorry for interrupting you here, but I've been watching this discussion. And I want to really know if you had been in his situation, you would have done the same thing. you would have made the same mistakes, or you would have done something different? Think about, because you've been watching, right? He's been struggling to explain, to show everything he has done and everything that he he tried to manage, but you haven't answered, in my opinion, precisely, And I think if you could elaborate a little better about this. If you had been in his situation, would you have done the same thing? Would you have continued this way, or you would have tried creating some different situation in that difficult time? Well, right after this approach, the American looked at me and he thought for a while. He listened that I was an advanced speaker. I was speaking with advanced structures. He looked and he considered, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, sure. I think I could have done in this way. I would have done in another way. And he immediately thought and he considered the answer. Was a great lesson for me in the sense that it's very common we come across to abusive speakers. They the abusive speaker is someone who manipulates conversation, takes control of the conversation because they are natives, or they take control of the situation, speaking or not speaking too much, but they take control of the situation and they are not honest enough, or not very clear enough, or not very sensitive enough. And as they have the power of the language, there is an aura, there is an environment that looks like they have the reason, they're right, they're correct. That's not the way. So I hope I have been clear to this approach. What is an abusive speaker? And it's someone who projects power with a lot of speaking between themselves, and they don't care about the other people, they don't want to be understood, or someone who is not honest in the answers, not deep enough in the answers, not clear enough in the answers. And for both kinds of abusive speakers, we got to approach in the same way. We got to challenge them. We're not happy when this happens. We got to be very critical if the person is honest or not, if the person is deep enough, clear enough, precise enough. Right? We've got to be very critical. And if we come across to this situation, the first thing is to challenge the person. We don't like it. I'm not satisfied with the situation, right? We don't like this, not satisfying situation. We're unhappy about the results, the problem, the situation. We immediately want to get out, right, of the situation. But that's not the right way to do. The right way to do it is to approach with the advanced structures. That's the moment when the advanced level stands out and you impress the other or the others with the precision of your analysis and the quality of your observations. Okay? I hope it's been something good for you. See you guys. Bye bye.